guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is 44 years old, and he's going to share his story, how just like so many guys that wrote into me, he got married way too young, to the wrong woman, ignored the red flags, etc., etc. And you're going to see here, guys, how just like a lot of those guys too, learn the hard way, but ultimately ends up on top, has the last laugh, the whole 9 yards. But you're going to see here, guys, there are a lot of mistakes he did, that so many guys do, and it's definitely going to make you just want to slap him for doing it, and believe me, he's aware of it, but he shares this to help guys out. And again, recurring themes of these stories I go over to share with you guys to help you is don't rush into marriage, really get to know who your girl is. If not, don't get married at all. Pay attention to red flags. Once a cheater, always a cheater, and how a guy can always start over and he can thrive in his middle ages, while the woman, well, not so much. And wait till you see how this ends, with her obviously trying to get him back, all that. So it starts off, he says here, greetings SSM. I came across your YouTube channel a few months ago, and the stories about cheating wives and girlfriends that come crawling back after the fact is the current story of my life. English is my first language. Even so, excuse any mistakes as I'm typing this on my phone. A little background about me. I grew up in a suburb of Pittsburgh in a two-parent household with a domineering mother and a very passive father. Seeing this dynamic and my mother preaching to me to cater to women, coupled with the fact that I was overweight and very insecure, I was, of course, the proverbial nice guy throughout my high school and college years. And how'd that work out? Never good. I notice it's always the domineering mothers that tell the boys to be nice and be gentlemen and all that, and how's that work out? Didn't work out in that relationship because obviously she doesn't respect the father, if I'm being honest here. He says here, in growing up, I was the guy that girls would tell me how much of a good guy I was, a great friend, big brother that I was to them, but never the guy they wanted. I was a simp. I like that this guy is completely honest with himself about who he was. Because you can't grow, you can't improve, guys, until you're honest to yourself about yourself. He says, when I went to college, I did have a girlfriend. She was attractive enough and she pursued me. So I said sure to being her boyfriend because it was a source of continuous sex. Looking back through a RP lens, I now understand why she wanted to be with me. Because I treated her with indifference. Since I wasn't head over heels for her, she would do whatever I wanted. See what he said there? He treated her with indifference. He could care less. He could take her or leave her. He was with her. Okay, we're having a good time. I'm getting the sex. But I honestly don't care if you break up with me either. And that is the trick, gentlemen, for your relationship guys. You got to get to the point that it doesn't make a difference, that you're indifferent with all women. That's very difficult, especially when you have this smoking hot chick in front of you. But if you can get to that point, it's amazing the reaction you get from them. Again, I'm sure many of you guys are aware, and you look back at your lives, how the women that really liked you, you weren't that into. But the women that weren't into you are the ones you really liked. It's all about how you behave, and your body language, and how you talk, and your vibe, and tone of voice, all that. If you can learn to behave the same way around all of them, you'll be amazed what happens. But that is no easy thing, and it takes time. Anyhow, he says here, also because her dad left when she was a little girl, daddy issues, and very clingy. I broke up with her my senior year in college because I wasn't ever truly into her, and I wanted to hook up with much hotter women than before my college years came to an end. He says, I was unsuccessful in my quest because my insecurities reared its ugly head, and my nice guy ways came bursting through any time I tried to talk to any woman that I was highly attracted to. Here's a quick lesson again. He treated the ones he was attracted to differently. He wasn't relaxed. He wasn't indifferent. He wasn't I would say, this part of him that he wanted to be. You can master that, guys. You'll be amazed at the results. Again, this is for your relationship guys. Anyhow, he says, after graduating college, losing some weight, and getting a job in my field of education, and gaining confidence, I had a good amount of success hooking up with various women. There you go. You lost the weight, you're moving up in your career, you gain confidence, now you're getting better looking women. It's all about your vibe. Since I wasn't looking for anything serious at the time, I unknowingly had an abundant mindset which aided in my success. That was the mindset I was in when I met my now ex-wife. We'll call her Ronnie. I met Ronnie in 2002. Actually, my mom met Ronnie in the department store where she was working, and my mom was there shopping. Mom thought it would be a great match, and she introduced us to each other. She was very attractive, had a good job, and was definitely a step above any of the women I was dealing with at the time. Well, newsflash: if your mom likes her, that's probably a bad idea, because this is your mom who you said would tell you to basically treat girls like the queen and kiss their butt and all that. And your mom was a domineering woman, so she'd probably pick a woman that had similar qualities, and you don't want that. And as you're going to see, guys, watch what happens. He says, we hit it off right away. Ronnie came from a single mother household. She has 2 older sisters, and all 3 of them have different fathers. Major red flag, bro, and I know he knows this now, but I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to families. If she and her sisters all have different daddies, is that a stable household? And again, women will model their mother how they behave. So that could be your household if you're not careful. He says, major daddy issues and red flags that totally went over my head. I was still seeing other women while I was seeing Ronnie. I never put my total focus on her, and she was constantly chasing my validation. See? He was no rush at that time to get a relationship with her, and she was chasing after him. This is why you want it to be this way, guys. Have them chase you, not you chase them. Put you in the driver's seat. 1 year into us dating, she became pregnant. I know, smack. A little more than a year after our daughter was born, I got a job in D.C. that paid almost double what I was making. I accepted the job thinking Ronnie would be eager for our little family to move, but she refused. She wanted me to stay at my job, knowing I was unhappy there so I could be there to help raise our child. I took the new job anyway and moved. I would make the drive back and forth every weekend that I was off and would plead with her to move with me. Smack. You never beg or plead with a woman. You're never going to get anywhere there. They're going to lose all respect for you, okay? A man leads, not pleads. I can't make that any more clear. About 9 months after this, she finally agreed to move on the conditions that we lived near her older sister that lived in the same area and where my new job was. And our place had to be near the store where she was going to transfer to. I found a place to satisfy both our requirements, so she finally agreed to the move. At the time she agreed to move, she also revealed that she was pregnant with our second child. Smack. 2, dude? What did I tell you all about wearing protection and disposing protection? The 1 maybe, but the 2? I'm sure you love your kids dearly, but seriously. Looking back, I now believe that was the main reason why she agreed to move. To not be a single mom with 2 kids. I know the question is the second kid really mine? And I know that's being wondered. Since it's been over 15 years and we've been divorced for over 7, I don't care. I was there when she was born and have raised her. She's my daughter. Case closed. Okay, bro. 3 years after the move and the birth of our second daughter, that's when things were going well. She gave me an ultimatum that I needed to marry her. She didn't just want to be my children's mother. I gave in to her demands and married her despite my apprehension. Smack. When a woman or anybody gives you an ultimatum, not good. And you give in to ultimatums, that means there's going to be more ultimatums in the future. Nothing good comes from ultimatums. And you're going to see. He says, I am very hands-on with raising my daughters, and I work very hard, often working many hours overtime to provide for my family, even letting Ronnie be a stay-at-home mom for a few years after the birth of our second daughter. Good Lord, the sirens are going crazy today. You guys can hear them. Anyway, he says, things are great with our little family before we married. I swear, after getting married, everything went downhill. Well, there's a stereotype of people. Everything's wonderful, and then we get married, and boom, everything's downhill. I first noticed a change when her single girlfriends convinced her to join social media. At first, it started out posting pictures of our family and hanging out with friends. Slowly, her page became solo pictures of her and no pictures of me and the kids. One day when I was on social media account, I decided to take a look at her page and see what I see. Her relationship status was set to single. When I questioned her about it, she said her friend set up the account for her and forgot to change the relationship status. What a load of crap. Bullshit. She put single on purpose to get attention from dudes. I believed her. Smack. I had her change it to married, and I didn't think anything of it. What I tell you all about attention and validation? She's married. She's got the kids. She's obviously getting older. She still needs that attention and validation to make sure that in her mind she's still beautiful and wanted. And notice how he said he'll start off with just pictures of her and then move it up to her in different outfits and stuff like that. See? These stories are so predictable. Fast forward 2 months later, I decided to check out her account again. Not only do I see her status is set back to single, but there are many pictures of her dressed in provocative outfits. Could see that coming a mile away, guys. When I confronted her, she said her friend posted the pictures on there and she sent them to her just to show off her outfits. It must have changed the relationship status. Oh my God, she is a compulsive liar. Oh, it's my friend again. You gotta blame the friend. She said it was just innocent fun and didn't see any harm. Although I was skeptical of what was going on and wondered what if she was sending those pictures to another guy, I wanted to believe her. Well, of course, as you probably expected, I found out by going through her phone, she did cheat with a guy she'd been secretly sending those pictures to. It is amazing how these stories are so predictable. How many of these stories are so much in common. This is why when I get these stories, guys, I can tell they're going to end right away. I can read a few paragraphs and know exactly how things are going to go. This is why, guys, if you watch enough of these videos, you too will be able to see these things coming a mile away. That way you won't be impacted by these things in a negative way if they enter your life. He says, one thing I did not mention that is different from most of your other stories that you covered is that I did cheat during my marriage. She found out about it. Actually, she took it very well, which I thought was odd at the time. But because she cheated first, and I didn't find out about her cheating until after she found out about mine, it made sense why she reacted the way she did. I should have just ended the marriage then because both of us were cheaters. But I figured since we were even, we could go forward with a fresh start. Well, you figured wrong, my friend. That is a freaking mess. She cheats, then he cheats, now she's cheating again. This is how it's going to be. And not to mention, she's a devious liar, so you don't need this in your life. I get you have kids, and it can make things difficult, but you really want that in your life? And you're going to see here, guys, once again, leopard doesn't change his spots until finally this guy goes through enough shit that he moves on. But we haven't gotten there yet. It was around that time I decided to seek counseling for myself. I wanted to address my insecurities for my weight issues, why I cheated, and how to better my marriage. The counseling worked wonders for me. It even helped me become a better man, husband, and father. I even suggested that we go to marriage counseling to work on us. She agreed. The counseling helped us so much, or so I thought. We were connecting as a couple, doing date nights and trips together without our kids to rediscover what we loved about one another. Well, so far so good. I guess as long as seems like she feels happy. But you're going to see how even when she puts on the front of being happy, there's other things going on. 6 months into it, she told me that I was now the husband she had always wanted. Oh, well, that's real nice. Life was great until I came home from a trip visiting family. When I walked in the house, I could instantly tell something was off. First, Ronnie was kind of cold and distant when greeting me after not seeing me for a few days. Before I left, she was all over me. Second, the bedspread we normally kept on our bed had been changed to a different one. When I asked her about this, she said she just felt like changing it. And the final thing was that the trash had been taken out. She never, and I mean never, took out the trash. What is it with women not wanting to take out the trash? You guys notice this? It can be jam-packed full of stuff. There can be maggots crawling out of it. You get my point. And they won't take out the goddamn trash. It's amazing to me. And it's not just things I've observed and experienced. She never took out the trash. The fact that she took it out made me instantly know she was hiding something in there. I went digging in the trash to see what she was trying to hide and found what it was. A small bag that contained used condoms. My heart instantly sank. I thought all of this was behind us, but apparently she had started back up to her old ways. Once a cheater, always a cheater, guys. I confronted her with the evidence. She instantly denied it and said that she let her girlfriend and her boyfriend stay over and they must have had sex and put those in the trash. Just like the Facebook posts and the Facebook switching it to single and all that. Now she's blaming the condoms on her friend. It's amazing to me. I didn't believe it for a second. Finally, after a minute of silence, she confessed to cheating. Her excuse was still that she felt very angry about me cheating, even though in counseling she said she was over it. And because we had both been wrong. Now she's saying she still needed revenge to make me hurt and make me herself feel better. I finally came to the realization that the marriage was over. Hallelujah, brother. I didn't want to move out and leave my daughters home without me. I moved all my stuff into the spare room and stayed in there. In the state we lived in, you had to be separated for 1 year if the kids were under the age of 18. Once the separation happened, we sat down and talked about not getting involved with anyone until we no longer lived in the same house to not confuse the kids. To no surprise, she didn't stick to that agreement and started seeing someone right away. I later found out about that the guy was the guy that she had cheated with previously. I let her know in uncertain terms that if anyone set foot in the house or was around my kids, someone would be going to jail and someone would be going to the hospital, and I damn sure wasn't going to the hospital. The look on her face, she knew I meant business. Yeah, you were acting like a man and she knew not to cross you. It's amazing what happens when a guy starts laying down the law when it is warranted. Or when a guy acts masculine and take charge. From that point on, the separation was actually uneventful. When the kids asked why I was sleeping in the other room, I told them because I get up for work early, it's easier to sleep in there and not wake up their mom. They seemed to buy it, and because we were acting normally, I think my soon-to-be ex didn't think I would actually go through with filing for the divorce because how well the separation was going, and the divorce hadn't been mentioned since. I was just waiting for the end of the school year so the kids didn't have to be at school while the divorce was happening. So she thinks everything's going great, and watch the surprise. When the last day of school arrived and I got home from work, I walked into the bedroom and told Ronnie we were getting divorced and moving back to Pittsburgh. The look of shock and disbelief came across her face, and all she could muster to say was, "Okay." She brought this on herself. You were the good guy. Yes, you cheated, and that wasn't cool, but at the least you did it in response to her cheating. I mean, it was a big mess. You know, two wrongs don't make a right, but she started it. And obviously you're unhappy and everything, and I don't promote that, but at least after the whole song and dance with the therapy and counseling and everything, and she still was doing her bullshit, at least then you said we're done. After the girls got home from school, I brought them into the room and told them that their mother and I are divorcing. They both cried and wanted to know we'd still be a family. I assured them we will always be a family no matter what. The next day I went to meet with an attorney and began the paperwork process. To my surprise, my ex was very amicable during the divorce process. She didn't want alimony, and we were able to work out a custody agreement and child support that was very beneficial to both of us. The divorce and the move went off without a hitch. Our kids adjusted well to the new place, new school, and the co-parenting situation. I was able to get a job at the TV station that I had originally worked for before moving away. Awesome, man. You deserve to have a smooth, amicable divorce. Fast forward 6 years, our daughters are flourishing, with the oldest set to graduate high school. Other than a few disagreements on decisions involving our daughters, the divorce has been uneventful. I've lost a lot of weight to get healthier. My dating life has been fantastic. I only want casual relationships, and I met plenty of women that are more than happy to warm my bed, many of which are much younger than myself. I'm 44. My ex, on the other hand, hasn't had much success with dating. There you go. As the saying goes, men age like Sean Connery, and women age like Sean Connery. Now, it doesn't mean a woman in her 40s can't look good and all that, but it's not going to be like her was when she was in her 20s. And a lot of guys don't want to get into serious relationships with the gals in their 40s when they can get younger women. But you, on the other hand, you're in your prime. You may not think, well, some people may not think that, but you are. And look how you came back after the divorce. And you're dating younger women, having a good time. And I'm sure you learned a lot of things from your mistakes, which is good. He says here, plenty of guys are willing to take her out and sleep with her, but won't take her seriously. And the fact that I'm a very involved father with my daughters has also scared men away. Lately, she's been making a go at getting back together, buying me gifts, cooking extra food, and making me go on containers, making to-go containers for me when she makes the girls' dinner, offering to take me to dinners, comedy shows, etc. I know how this ends, and believe me, this guy would be out of his mind to get involved with her again. Do you think that she's any different? Do you think she'd change? No way. She's just desperate. That's all. I mean, I'm sure this dude is cool and everything, and an awesome guy, but still, she doesn't get the attention and having guys lining up for her like she used to. This is how things usually work. She even went so far as to throw me a surprise party at her place when I showed up to spend time with my daughters, inviting my mother, brother, cousin, coworkers. I did enjoy the party, but it changed nothing about me ever wanting to get back together with her. Good. And that'd be kind of awkward with your ex throwing you the party, given the reason why you broke up to begin with. The last 7 years have been the happiest time of my life. No way am I ever, and I mean ever, getting back together with her. Good. I won't make the mistake of getting married again either, nor would I live with a woman again. I'm truly living the bachelor life. Hopefully my story can be an inspiration to men that are in my similar situations. Thank you, SSM, for your content. It's been a great help and is a constant reminder to not be involved with women on their terms, but only on my terms. It's my way or the highway. Amen. That's right, guys. You got to be the leaders. Your way or the highway. This is what happens when you build yourself up to be the best you can be. Self-improvement. Having so many good things going for in your life. You're healthy, you're fit, you're doing well, rising up in your job or growing your company. You're kicking ass left and right every day. You don't have to, you got options, you got choices. It's your way or the highway, end of story. And you go along with that indifferent attitude when you just take it or leave it attitude with women. You're not chasing after them. It's amazing the results. And this guy's learned this. And this guy's now, as he said, the last 7 years have been the best of his life. So I'm really happy for this guy. Great job, bro. You made your mistakes, but guess what? Plenty of dudes make mistakes. Don't sweat it. People are going to learn from your story, just like all the other stories I share. So this is why I do this every single day, and I love doing it. I'm glad to help you guys out. All right, guys. That is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Give this guy congratulations for overcoming a crappy marriage and doing well for himself. And also, guys, if you have a really good story like to share with me, just like this dude, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just make it easy for me to read, and give me some time, and I'll get to it eventually. This guy sent me this story probably a couple months ago, and I'm getting around to it now. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.